Let's get more analysis on this now with SemraHunter, who's a Spanish football journalist and presenter. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on CGTN to discuss this issue. What do you think about that? I don't know if you heard Ken talking about this being labelled perhaps the Me Too moment for Spanish football. What do you think about that? Is that true?
For me, it is. I agree. I think we're really on the brink of something very major here as it comes to a cultural and societal shift. I think we have to capitalize on this opportunity, unfortunate as it is, to actually make significant and real change here in Spain, because there is a problem with sexism, with misogyny, with machismo, as they call it in Spain. It does exist, and unfortunately, it's been very normalized for far too long. Women have had to put up with a lot of abuse, with mistreatment, with being ridiculed, with being humiliated, always having to turn the other way and letting men in powerful positions get away with it. We've seen this in all spheres of society here in Spain, across the board. So I think now people are really getting behind this, men and women of all ages are getting behind this to say, now is the time. The whole world is watching us. We cannot let our nation down. We have to do everyone good here and put our best foot forward and really come out from this as best as we possibly can in terms of actually doing some favors to these women who really deserve it after for so very long they haven't been paid attention to and they haven't been heard and they haven't been taken seriously.
So perhaps a really important turning point, and this should still have been a moment of intense celebration for the triumphant Spanish women's football team, but it does seem that there's this culture within the Spanish FA and it is casting a big shadow over this success. You know, how did it come to this?
It's a very good question. It's come to this. It's taken a very long time, quite frankly, for it to come to this. There have been women who previously played for the national team who came out and they spoke quite openly about a systemic abuse that was established by the Federation for the last several years, decade actually, and they talked about how they were openly treated with abusive behavior, how they were controlled, how they were manipulated, how they were afraid to go to the national team at times to represent Spain. They were ridiculed, they were humiliated. And they consistently would file reports to have these kinds of behaviors looked into and investigated. But unfortunately, it just never really amounted to anything. It never really went anywhere. We saw the 15 players in September saying that they didn't want to represent Spain at the World Cup until things were changed within the system and the structure that was in place by the Federation. They were very worried about their mental and their emotional well-being, citing that they were very concerned with the methods that were put into place by Jorge Vilda, the coach, and the coaching staff. Unfortunately, the response they got was for the information to be leaked by the Federation, to be publicly ridiculed as capricious little girls, and told that they were not allowed to come back until they had an apology. There has been a very interesting development, however, in the last few minutes. The entire coaching staff has resigned. The only person who has stayed is Jorge Vilda, the head coach, and they have cited that they do not believe at all in what Rubiales was saying in his speech yesterday, especially when Jenny Hermoso herself has said that she is a victim of this abuse. They support her, and they have resigned with immediate effect.
Wow, well, thank you for bringing us that really important development. That's incredible to hear. And we have had some Spanish players from the men's side coming out announcing their support for the women's team, but no official position, no official announcement. What does that tell us? And do you think things are going to change quite quickly? Do you think, well, it seems that Rubiales' position is pretty untenable, to say the least?
You would have thought so. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you would have thought that he's really running out of time here, that he's dead man walking and his numbers are days. It's just, his days are numbered, sorry. It's just a question of, is he actually going to eventually back down and say, okay, this is it, I've lost? Quite frankly, I don't think so. I think he's going to wait until they push him out permanently. And so we saw what FIFA said today. They have suspended him provisionally for 90 days. He is not allowed to partake in any football activity as it relates to national or international levels. He is not allowed to have any contact of any kind or third party with Jenny Hermoso. Members of the Federation are also not allowed to have any contact of any kind with Jenny Hermoso and the players themselves. So there has been some steps taken, but now it really is in the hands as well of the Spanish government to continue with their investigations and to see what it is that they will ultimately decide to do. That will continue on Monday. They will go to the administrative courts. He will have to speak at some point, give further explanations, and then, based on the severity, they will determine.
Apologies,
or it could be long-term, forever ban.
Oh, we lost you just for a moment there, Semra, but we have the connection back. And just briefly, if I could ask you,
Sure.
despite all of this, do you still feel positive about football, women's football in Spain and internationally, considering all of the progress that's been made? Or are you concerned that these really serious existential issues that are clearly still present are going to put people, young women, off joining the sport?
I want to believe, with everything that I'm witnessing unfolding live right now, today, that there is hope of a better future, that for once the situation, these women, they are being taken seriously. And the fact that so many have already left the federation, let's not forget to mention as well, there were 6 or 7 members of the federation who resigned yesterday as well, including one of the vice presidents. The fact that there is a bit of a clear out here does mean that there is an opportunity for new people to come in, right the wrongs, and establish a new organization and do things the proper way. At least that would be the hope, right? So the fact is, it does seem as though these women are winning this argument. They've won in the court of public opinion so far, I would say. And it does seem as though they are maybe going to win this battle, this war overall in the end. And it looks as though Luis Rubiales will eventually be pushed out, in which case they will then come back to the national team, as they have currently said that they will not do until the leadership is gone. So yes, I do think there is reason to believe that there is a brighter future, and that for once it will get the proper attention and care that it deserves here in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Well, a lot of people will be agreeing with you there and hoping this will be resolved very soon. Thank you so much for your insights on this today. We really appreciate that. That's SemraHunter there, a Spanish football journalist. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.